What's going on, world? It's your boy at Big Game James _36. This is Big Games B.S. live from Indianapolis, the Nap Town. Gonna get you all kind of content. Make sure you're going back and checking out some of the content that we already have out there. Senior Bowl content, a lot of that stuff is going to give you some backdrop to some of the people that we're going to get a chance to interview and see over the next week or two. We're going to check out a lot of seminars. We're going to have a lot of random live shows as well. We're going to try to put up. We're going to get some interviews. We'll get some candid stuff tomorrow. We'll check out some coaches. We'll get some interviews. We'll get some updates. We'll get some breakdowns. All in all, make sure you get interactive in the best sports show that you haven't heard of, and get some of the content that you want to listen to. So, without further ado, that's what we are. Presented by Alpha Clinic Online. Alpha Clinic Online is powering me through all of the shenanigans. I mean, the combine comes up. What happens in Naptown stays in Naptown. We'll be joined by Sheena. We'll hopefully be joined by my guy, Steve. Steve's getting some other stuff done for me from the 7-on-7 tournament that we just did this past weekend. So we are really just out here just getting active, getting busy. So without further ado, Jaden, what we got going on today?
All right. Can you guys hear me okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So what's up, y'all? Good night. February 24th, Combine Week. Super excited to get this share with you all. So today we're going to get into the show notes. First things first, starting off with some MFTK kids. Big weekend, sevens tournament, and then they had an Under Armour football camp down in Orlando. So we're going to highlight some of the kids from those tournaments and camps. Then we're going to move on into FSU, talk about a couple of different sports with them, and FanDuel releasing their over-under win total for the FSU football season. See what you think about that, James. And then we're going to talk about some combine news and talk about the ACC. Next, we move on to the Jags. James Gladstone, the new GM, had a press conference, the first press conference. So we're going to highlight some of those videos and look at his resume, look at some other key factors into this Jaguar season. Then we're going to talk about the Packers proposal for the tush-push ban, get into more of that. And then we're going to get into a little bit more NFL articles as well. Then we got our Big Games B.S. segment, talk about Steve Smith Sr., everything that ensued with that situation, building your own expansion team, and a couple more videos at that. But first things first, let's get this shared with you all. Mandarin U right here, Mandarin University, aka Mandarin High School, down in Jacksonville, Florida. If you guys didn't know, producing some of the best athletes, high school football athletes in the state. Gonna pull this up for you all just so we can share it. So right here, we got Brody Jennings. He's a cornerback from Mandarin University. You can see right here, his stock rose from being ranked 265 to 130. Huge cornerback prospect coming out of Mandarin as well. You can see he's currently committed to Michigan right there. But hopefully we can see where his future will pan out. And huge shout out to Brody as well. Next thing, we're going to move on to another Mandarin University kid as well. First, we got Turn Up. Hopefully to be future. Should have been a Mandarin University kid, I might add. But Turn Up has been doing great things on the football field. And we got a quick recap of him getting a nice interception right here at the 7-on-7 camp in Atlanta. Tournament. And then we got the video right here.
Yeah, Turn Up was turned up the whole weekend. He had a pick. I think he had a pick in almost every game. Some big breakups. Did some really, really good stuff. Going up against some of the top guys in the nation. Turn Up, B5, Wingo. Shout out to my guy Sharif. Shout out to Tamaj. A lot of the top guys. Turn Up, believe it or not, doesn't have any powerful offers. Everybody just keeps saying oh man, they got to see more. They got to see more. But the kid is nice. He should be at man. If he was at Mandarin University, he have all the stuff. But we're not trying to you know, we're not trying to just take everybody. But he is good. He is really really good. So shout out to him and the illest nigga in Nebraska, number 3, that's coming over there over the top of him. So our defense was fired up and did really well. So um, we should have some highlights and some reels coming here shortly. I wish we could get it faster, just like all the other people, but we'll get better. We're still a young organization.
So then next thing we got is B5, like you mentioned, 2028 monster wide receiver phenom Bryson Wright showing off his skills for you all. You'll get into this monster catch right here.
Now B5 doesn't like this guy. He was in. They both were on SFE last year. That was a 2-point. B5 and Wingo were doing their thing.
Got this video, speaking of Wingo, right on time. Got this video of him as well. Just a quick 9-second clip. 4-star wide receiver Samarian Wingo playing out of St. Augustine High School, making some plays right here. And you can see it says on the screen, Alabama offered him in late January. So, man, it could be big things for Wingo, but this is a little quick clip right here.
Guys were trying to hold him, and he's a big, fast receiver.
Staying in your with the Mandarin U kids, James, you have Brian Harris in the Under Armour camp, and you see he took home the MVP award. So, James, just touch up on Brian. I know he recently decommitted from Maryland, and just give me your recap, your thoughts, your perspective on Brian Harris and how he did, if you saw these clips from his performance.
I mean, he did good. Brian's about 6'4", close to 300 pounds. He's a guy who can play. He can play the 3 technique, or he can play the end. Reminds me a lot of Josh Farmer for FSU fans. He's getting better. He's getting more explosive and more consistent. He missed most of his sophomore year, tore his ACL. Did pretty good last year. Tremendously, a very smart kid too. Got offers from Stanford and a few other programs like that. Great GPA. Once he continues to develop and progress and get that motor going, man, he's going. The sky's the limit for him, man. Big kid, very bright. I'm looking forward to him doing more and just becoming physically just dominant. Like that's the only thing. Again, we got cats everywhere at Mandarin U. So he's just continuing to try to change the standard of what Northeast Florida football looks like. And that's about it, man. Like, shout out to Brian.
So Asher Gito, man, a phenom on the field. He was at the UA All-American 8th grade game as well. And just talk about what aspect he could possibly bring to the Mandarin University team in the future if he decides to make that switch, James, because he balled out.
It'd be cheating if he came over. But again, another high upside. There's a picture. He was at the Super Bowl. He was doing pass rush academy with Von Miller and those guys in New Orleans. Asher's going to be competing with B5 as well as B5 as a few others to see who's going to be the best prospect in 2028. They're going to all come out of the Jacksonville, Florida area. So it's a lot of good 2028 kids I was looking at some of that film, and we got to work on that 40 stance though, Asher. We can be. He's you're way too physically gifted to be running like that. But yeah, pretty good, pretty fluid.
Yeah, so that was all for the high school portion. Now we're gonna get on to college, and we're gonna segue into FSU. So huge shout out to the women's basketball team for getting a dub against the ranked Georgia Tech team. Gonna share this with you all, and it was a close down to the wire game. FSU 73, Georgia Tech 70. Read you off some of the key stats from the game. So FSU's own Sydney Bowles had 32 points, 6 assists, 4 rebounds, 2 steals, and 1 block. Next leading scorer was our big man, the one and only Michaela Timpson. 19 points. Get this, 16 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, and 3 blocks. I like how on our team, a lot of scorers can give it to you on any given night. Sydney dropping, Omariah, then you got Tania. So huge shout out to the girls for getting that feat. And with this win, they were ranked again, so they jumped into the number 24 spot. So huge shout out to the FSU women's team. Moving on to softball, right quick, they got a dub against excuse me right quick, Southeastern Louisiana University 5-4. So I wanted to share this with you all. Then moving forward, baseball got a dub against Penn 24-2. Man, that was a huge blowout as well.
And
Getting getting through the sports section as well. Got some beach volleyball. FSU beating LSU 3-2. And then the bread and butter of this segment, James, FanDuel came out with their projected win totals for FSU, coming in at 7.5 for the 2025-2026 college football season. So Clay Fink already gave his opinions on the schedule. So we're gonna look at it. And James, do you think we can hit that 7-5 mark? And what is your win and loss record for FSU next season?
I think that's fair. I think Florida State wins 8 games, 9 games. You got the Bama game. I can see not giving them that one. You crossed off the 5 games that are tough. I think you got to be, but I think in order for Mike to have the impact that he wants to have, you gotta win. I hate calling Clemson a rival, but you gotta win. You gotta win 2 of the 3 rivalry games. So you can't lose to Florida, Miami, and Clemson this year, and think shit's gonna be sweet. So that's just not a good look. You gotta get better than that. So, but I think we're giving a lot of heavy emphasis to a lot of teams on the schedule who are going to look completely different than they did last year. Alabama's not going to look the same. Miami's not going to look the same. Florida's not going to look the same. So we don't know, but I'm not mad at anyone picking that. NC State is always tough to play out on the road at home too. So
Definitely agree with the range of wins for the season, that 7-9 range. I think the Noles could pull that off and prove some haters wrong this season, or excuse me, next season. Now we're sticking into in the college world. We got some performance updates, especially in the quarterback world for the combine. Just some updates for you all. These QBs are going to be throwing at the combine. I repeat, they're going to be throwing at the combine. So you got Jackson Dart, Ole Miss, Jalen Milroe, Alabama, and Riley Leonard from Notre Dame. And Shadur Sanders, the hot topic for the discussion, is not throwing at the combine. And Miami's own Cam Ward is still uncertain. Don't know if there's any more updates regarding that. But last time I checked, he is still uncertain. So James, do you think Shadur should get all this slack for not wanting to throw at the combine and instead waiting at Colorado's pro day?
Well, I think the only person who's recently done this is Bryce Young. Everybody else performed at the combine. When you look at who are the top 5 picks, um, and they all performed well, if I remember correctly. So like him not throwing, you know, I mean, it doesn't hurt. You want to be able to throw in. It's a more controlled environment that they'll do it at Colorado, but it's like, why are you here? Like, again, but I do get it. Like him throwing can only give them opportunities to critique. Give them one if they're going to critique. Give them one opportunity to critique, and that makes the most sense.
What are your thoughts on Cam Ward? Where do you think he will land up? You think he's teetering on the throwing side, or he's going with Shador and on the reservation side? Since they are the two, in my opinion, top quarterback candidates in this draft class.
I think they both train together with the same trainer. Typically, you see the same format for those who get trained, especially if they're top guys. Most of the time, you won't see a top guy have like if he has 2 top guys, it's not going to be one's going to train and the other one because that poses more questions. So I think you'll see Cam maybe come weigh in, do the measurables, do the interviews, and probably not throw either. But it would be great to see Cam, especially when they line them up into certain groups. If it was Cam, Jackson, Dart, you know, how far off is he from there? But you gotta like I'm not mad at anybody but I think if anybody can rest on what they've done, it'd be Cam. Cam can probably rest on what he's done more than anybody else.
Speaking of Cam, staying in the U for this one in the 305. Some breaking news out of the combine as well. Miami tight end Elijah Arroyo, a potential first-round pick, is not working out at the combine due to a knee injury from the recent Senior Bowl in Mobile, Alabama. And he says, quote, Ian Rappaport says he will be ready for his pro day, though, on March 24th. So just some Florida news for you all. Did you get a chance to hear or see about this one, James?
No, I didn't know that. This is news to me. But if you're bothering, you're banged up, there's no need. Because the only thing that it will hurt him. He's got to be able to run. He's got to be able to be full speed, show your athleticism. And if you can't do that, then there's no need.
Making sure to keep the Media Group fans up to date as well. So the biggest news coming out of the defensive recap slash status of the combine. So we have Penn State DN and potential #1 overall pick Abdul Carter will not work out at the combine because he has not fully recovered from the shoulder injury he suffered from Ashton Genty's Boys State. So he played through the injury in the Notre Dame in the semifinal playoff game, but only recently was cleared to resume training. So, quote, we fully expect Abdul to be recovered in time to work out his pro day at Penn State, and he will perform at a very high level, Rosenhaus said. His agent, Drew Rosenhaus. Carter will partake in the physical exams and interviews with teams at the combine. So, James, is this a big deal for Abdul Carter with this injury, or do you think his dominance will go past the combine?
I think he'd be fine. Pass rusher, school that's been producing quality products. I think you just need to check out, and it's a scope. And this is probably can't do the bench press, and they don't want you to run when you've had that scope. But I think he'll be a-okay.
Wishing for a speedy recovery for Abdul Carter. So, James, we got to fire on College Football Report. They did us so dirty with this list right here. So they ranked ACC head coaches, and look at number 2 and look at number 6. That's all I gotta say. So, James, I wanted to put this up there. You can take some shots at this list because I feel like you got some strong takes for this list, or you may not. You might surprise me, but I'm excited to hear your opinion.
Mario Cristobal is ranked entirely too high for a lot of hype. I mean, just think about it like this. For him to be the number 2 coach and never been in the ACC championship. I would put Rhett Lashley, Mike Norvell, all above these guys. Bill Belichick coming in really, really high based on what he did in the NFL game, which is different than college, but I respect it. A lot of these other guys, I would put Mario top 5 definitely. Dabo's the clear number 1 coach in the ACC until consistently proven otherwise. I think Dave Doran needs to be higher. Jeff Brom has been able to win since he's been the Louisville coach, going to an ACC championship his first year, and damn near getting into it in year 2. I just don't think I'm starting to question the coaching that we have in the ACC in general. It's not a very good coaching list. But yeah, I think Mario's entirely too high. I know Miami fans hate when you say anything like that, but you have absolutely no real faith that you'll be in the ACC championship.
What made you say you were raising a raised eyebrow to the ACC coaches?
Oh, I'm sorry. The reason why is just like when I'm looking at these guys, like Bill O'Brien's a good NFL coach. Don't know what he's going to do at BC consistently. Manny Diaz did fine, but he's at Duke. Pat Narduzzi should be a better coach, should be ranked higher, but he goes from sugar to shit way too quick. Fran Brown probably should be ranked top 10, but I can understand with him still being a new coach. Brent Key probably should be ranked higher, but still didn't have the results in which you felt he should have had. The rest of those guys, I have no idea who the fuck they are outside of Tony Elliott. And we know Tony Elliott's probably going to get fired and go back to Clemson. So it's just really not a lot of great guys that have been developing talent like that. Like I can see why people say the ACC is a sub-tier conference.
Yeah, for the same sentiments you were saying, with looking at these lists, seeing some of the names, not knowing how their careers will pan out, bunch of skepticism in the air for this, and a lot of guys on these teams want to make it to the combine in Indianapolis, happening this week. We got the schedule right here for you all of the breakdowns of the time slots and days, which and the specific groups in which their specific events will be occurring. So, James, which day are you most excited for? I know the team interviews and the on-field workouts for the running back QBs is on Saturday. I know that's a pretty highly anticipated day. So, what days are you looking forward to?
Probably Friday. It is Friday, right? When we do the interviews. Yeah, Friday media interviews, and then Saturday should be a show. I want to see what some of the wide receivers are going to do. I want to see those 40s. I want to see if somebody's going to get close to breaking that record. Those are the things that I'm looking forward to.
Make sure to stay tuned to the channel, especially FSU fans. We're gonna try and get some content with the 3 FSU guys there. That being Ryan Fitzgerald, our kicker, Joshua Farmer, our defensive lineman, and Azarie Thomas, DB, second leading tackler on the team. So make sure to stay tuned for the content. Guys, we are going to transition to the NFL, to the Jaguars. James Gladstone has made his first public press conference appearance with the Jaguars. So this is a quick look at his resume. Let's just run through it, James, right quick. I'll read some of the key stats for you. So he was the Los Angeles Rams. He worked there most recently, senior assistant to the general manager, 2016 to 2016 and then he was a senior assistant to the general manager and then director of scouting strategy. You see some other statistics with his resume as well. So based off this resume, James, how are you liking this fit for the Jags, even though we touched on it prior to his interviews?
I'm in a wait and see situation. I will say I'll give some props to Shad. So how it's working, Shad's with Cohen. Cohen's directly responsible for winning games. Gladstone is directly responsible for making sure he focuses only on scouting and getting the right roster around that. And then Tony is responsible for all the bullshit that surrounds the menial task when it comes to football. He looks like a pup. Like there's been pictures where he looks like Homelander, and then now I'm looking at this and it looks like Ryan the Temp. Like I don't know what we're getting out of this guy. But I do know the Rams have done things at a really, really good job. I'm going to be cautiously optimistic. I can't wait to see him, get a chance to interview him tomorrow.
Speaking of that cautious optimism, got some video clips from his press conference. Give the fans a little bit more insight if you did not get a chance to see him speak at the press conference for the first time as the Jags GM. So, gonna share this with you all. Please let us know what you think in the chat, and please enjoy.
Do you look at what you bring to the table as cutting edge or outside the box? And what does that look like in today's NFL or from a GM spot?
Yeah, that's a fair question. I think that, I have a fresh perspective, I'd say. A deep understanding of really the modern tools and mechanisms that are revolutionizing the sport. And so, that'll certainly be something that we leverage here. While at the same time, I mean, we're walking into the combine this afternoon, right? And so the current mode of operation is in rhythm. The cadence is in place. So my intent here through this initial spring is to really calibrate my own mode of operation to the current mode of operation, insert some specific efficiencies that'll help me better understand our group's insights and perspectives, and then assess at the end of this spring what types of things we can roll out into the future. But we'll certainly, put the pedal to the metal on a lot of advanced sort of modes of operation.
You talked about a lot of things about the ever-changing landscape of the NFL, and then you talked about the mode of operation. But I assume you're hitting at analytics. Where can we go? I mean, obviously Tony is deep in that, but how much more is there to be found and had from in the role of analytics in terms of building rosters and maybe even helping with the game management stuff?
Tony will be leveraged for sure. His insight and understanding is top tier. So that in and of itself is an edge that we can utilize.
Got another quick clip for you before you get into this dialogue, James. Let me share this with you all. Enjoy this clip as well.
To the Jaguar fan base, I turn to you. With Liam's vision, with a disciplined approach, we're going to bring you a product that you all can be proud of. And we are so appreciative of your support. With that, game on.
Wow. I thought he was about to tear up for a second.
I was just like, is he crying? I think my Wi-Fi is slowing down.
It's pause.
Oh yeah, it's paused. Yeah, it's good. It's done.
Okay. Shit. Hey, hold on one second. You got him. Dub, what's up? What's up, bro? Yeah, I'm recording. What's up? Oh shit, they didn't even hit me up. They didn't hit me back. Damn. Let me see what that. Let me text him right now. Yeah, that's what you want. 2 of them. Yeah. All right. Let me see. Let me see what they'll do. Okay. All right. All right. Go ahead and play the crybaby. Or we were talking about the crybaby.
Yeah, that was the 2 videos I wanted to show you.
I don't know, man. I hope it works out. Hold on. Gladstone is his name, right?
Yep, his name is James Gladstone.
All right. Why does it keep doing that?
Telephone number 40.
Hey, Dave, I didn't mean to FaceTime call you. I tried to call you like a normal person. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Let me see what it, let me text her right now. My bad. Trying to get some inside information. But I agree with Daily Chop. They're gonna destroy this kid if he starts losing. I think he's gonna cry.
Your call has been forwarded.
All right. We'll get him later. But yeah, I mean, again, he just seems very young, very emotional, nothing wrong with it. Yeah, I'm going to give him an opportunity. I believe he has a shot to be really, really good. I think the Jags the fan base just wants a winner. And if they can make it happen, everybody's gonna overlook all of this stuff. But I mean, they definitely ain't won none of the press conferences yet. I can tell you that much. Not in my opinion. But I know everybody so far, and I'm going to be locking. I don't want to be the guy because I'm already getting killed by There's some people, there's some real ones recognizing what we were really saying about Trevor, but there's some kids who didn't pass the FCAT or Florida rights, and it's some dummies out here, man. That's all I know it's some dummies.
We have a little bit of insight from an unnamed source, however, regarding the executive leadership in the Jacksonville Jaguars facility. So I'm going to share this with you all right here. So, quote, told Baselli, Gladstone, and Cohen will all report directly to Khan, aka Shad Khan, the owner. Gladstone, the GM, will oversee the draft, free agency, and all facets of building the roster. Cohen will be in charge of everything and everyone on the grass, players, coaches, etc. Baselli, meanwhile, will oversee areas such as strength and conditioning, medical, travel, facilities, and PR, which the Jags hope will allow for Gladstone to focus on building the roster and Cohen to focus on coaching the team, which is what they were hired to do. James, do you think this is a good split of tasks from the executive leadership in Jacksonville if this is allegedly true?
I mean, what happens when Cohen's not winning and he doesn't think he has the best players? That's really where I want to know. How does that get resolved?
No, that's a good question. Definitely. Hopefully we can see, hopefully we won't have to get to that point, but if we do, hopefully we can see some resiliency from Gladstone. So Jacksonville made some new hires, and James, you retweeted it, got a familiar name on there, cuz you see down here, I shared with you all the assistant strength and conditioning coach right here, Lanier Coleman. Man, talk about Lanier and what it means, and just gotta give a quick shout out on his new job that he got.
one, really good strength and conditioning coach, been there, played. One of the best things about some coaches, guys who have actually played, and that always helps. He's a good hard worker, very much so a players. I mean, a coach that can like the players can vibe with. So I like that. What was funny though is Jada, you know that's when we went to the women's brunch or the luncheon that we went to.
Yeah, I remember that was
That's his old lady runs that.
Yeah.
So she inboxed me. She's like, "Looks like we're gonna be partying in Jacksonville." And I'm like, okay. And she's like, "Oh, you must not know yet." And I'm like, "Well," she said something like that. Somebody got a job in Jacksonville, and then this gets posted the next day, and that's cool.
Huge shout out to Lanier Coleman Cuzzo for getting the opportunity to be the assistant strength and conditioning coach in Jacksonville. So we got some news coming from the Tush Push and the Packers. So there was word on the street that an unnamed team had a proposal to ban the Tush Push. Couple hours later, it was surfaced that the Packers was this unnamed team that submitted a proposal to the NFL's competition committee to ban the tush push. James, do you think it is a valid action to pursue a ban on the tush push?
It is kind of unfair, and being there in Philly at the game when Washington, like, because there's no way you can like really beat it. Like to have a lineman there, they just literally just they're shoving you forward. Like you can't do that on any other level. So it technically is it's against all things that are supposed to be trying to make the league safer. It definitely doesn't make the league safer at all. So I'm for the ban. I do think it's kind of wild, but you know, it's very innovative, and it shows what happens when you kind of check the rule. Give me 1 second, y'all. Talk about something. I gotta take this. Hello. Hey.
You want to mute? Or we got you.
64.
I don't know if he wants that to be private or not.
Yeah, I probably muted. I think he muted himself though.
I did it. I was just still trying to get this Gladstone. Man, with Gladstone and the other dude, it's a goofy looking picture with all three of them. I'm about to do the thumbnail.
Oh, of Gladstone and Shad Khan and Cohen. Yeah. Then the Packers, I think it's goofy. It just looks goofy from a fan's perspective, seeing another team trying to ban a play from being used. That's the first reaction I had seeing this, like a team really taking that action to try and ban a play. And I was just super surprised it was the Packers out of all teams. I wouldn't, if this happened and somebody would have asked me to pick a team and guess who would try and bend the tush push, my first guess would not be the Packers. So it was strange to see. And staying in the yeah.
Oh, my fault.
No, you
I
can
feel
keep
like
going.
if Bill
Yeah.
Belichick was still here, he would have been the first person to either came up with the tush push or been the first person to try to get it banned.
Yeah. Why do you say that about Bill?
He just is looking for every advantage in a way, right? These dudes are looking for every inch. You know, if he's not beyond deflating a ball, I can see trying to get the tush push. And I'm a fan. I'm for him deflating the balls if he did.
And getting Tom Brady to help his girlfriend rent a car if she needed to.
Hey man, he's an old man living his life.
That was a funny video. Speaking of old man, I don't know if 37 is old in the NFL world, especially in the quarterback position. But Matt Stafford, has some teams showing interest in trading for him. So we got a couple teams, and we're gonna run through on if these teams are valid for Matt Stafford, and if this is a good career move for his decision. So we got New York Giants. You got the Cleveland Browns, Pittsburgh Steelers, and Las Vegas Raiders. Now, 3 teams in here are high up in the 2025 draft and are projected to pick some quarterbacks. So, Miles, what do you think about these teams, and what do you think their impact would be on this draft if they have interest in Stafford and they're looking at some QBs as well?
Well, I'm thinking the Steelers might. It would be nice to see them go the Aaron Rodgers way. Try to let them learn under a year if they want to still get a young quarterback to go as learn under Stafford. Is one of the best to learn under. I sad for everybody who has to go to the Giants. Like I think, yeah, I couldn't see. You would think that the team would like him enough. They had enough of a good dealing with him to not send him there. Cleveland and Oakland's kinda interesting. I'm not sure about them. I would like to see them with the Steelers the most, to be honest.
Yeah, Las Vegas obviously projected to. They have so much hype around them getting Shador, and I think Shador is sending some shots back at them of interest. And James, are you back from the
Yeah.
call? So I'm going to read you Matthew Stafford's stats from this past season. So he had 3,762 throwing yards. So he had 20 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, and had a QBR of 64.7 and a QB rating of 93.7. So what do you think is a desirable team if these teams decide to trade for Stafford?
I go with the Raiders. It's easier to get second in that division than it is to go like Matt Stafford to go from Cali to Pittsburgh. Nah, not conducive. Same thing with Cleveland. Cleveland might be a little bit more built to win, but they just lost a major piece or losing a major piece. Like of these 4 teams, the only one, at least Vegas is fun. I'd be yeah, that would be how I would go about it if I were him. I think Cleveland needs to just do right by Jameis. It just at least it'll be a good time in Cleveland.
Forgot about Jameis, yeah.
But they got that nut ass freak bull on their roster still.
Yeah, it's the money.
Yeah, this was interesting to see. Obviously, Matt Stafford, Super Bowl champion with the Rams, defeating the Bengals. And just wanted to read you all his stats just to give you all some more background information. Where do you think you could see him fit, see him thrive and flourish? And we're going to get into the opposite of thrive and flourish on this segment. So, Dov Kleiman posted this interesting picture on Twitter. I thought I had to post and share with you also. These are the most arrests since 2015 per NFL team. Number 1 coming in is Kansas City with 16 arrests since 2015. Some other notable teams is our own Jacksonville coming in at 3rd place, tied for 3rd with the Cowboys, New Orleans Saints, and the New York Jets. James, have you ever seen an infographic like this before?
This is wild. This is wild. This is like normally in college you want to be in this top. If you're in the top 5, that means your program's winning. Like right here, it's only one team that's winning. That's got guys who will get arrested. Yeah, most of these came from draft night, if I believe on KC. But the Jags got all these goons and suck. That stinks. Lions, look at that. Just a clean-cut American program. They got 2 arrests.
The Cowboys are definitely America's program with the 3rd most arrests. That's very fitting. Very fitting. So I wanted to share this with you all. And speaking of America's team, there was a lot of speculation and back and forth regarding the Philadelphia Eagles and their White House visit. So per Adam Schefter, earlier today around 5:45 p.m., to those wondering, quote, Eagle sources say the team is planning on visiting the White House this offseason and looks forward to receiving its invitation. So just wanted to share that with you all. And James, we got a special one right here for you. So if you had to pick a wide receiver from the AFC West from these four selections right here to start your franchise with, who would you choose and why would you choose them? So I can read you some stats from these players right quick so you can get a better understanding of how last season went for them. So first, starting with Lad McConkey. Lad McConkey last season 82 receptions, 1,149 yards, and 7 touchdowns. Then you have Jacoby Myers, 87 receptions, 1,027 yards, 4 touchdowns. Cortland Sutton, 81 receptions, 1,081 yards, 8 touchdowns. Then you have Rashee Rice, 24 receptions, 288 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So, James, who are you picking out of this list and why?
Give me the DEI guy. Give me the McConkey. I mean, he just does everything, does all the little things. You know, first one in, last one out, consistent ball getter. Pause. Just really, really, like, again, came in and immediately became a number one target. I would build around you can build around him. Especially with a quarterback. I mean, he's friendly to the quarterback. More sudden than fast. He's never going to get outworked. Hustler, all that jazz.
And out of these four selections we have for you all, Lad McConkey averages the most yards per catch with 14 compared to Jacoby Myers averaging 11.8, Cortland Sutton averaging 13.3, and Rashee Rice averaging 12. So Lad McConkey, like James said, very hardworking, very, very pure football player we got here. So, and a Georgia boy. So keep doing your thing, Lad. And we're going to move on to the Big Games BS segment. It's funny that we're talking about wide receivers because this wide receiver he's in for some trouble, man. He's been all over the internet. Everybody's been reacting. Club Shay Shay, Jason Whitlock. Everybody's been on this guy's head. So, we have to talk about North Carolina Panthers wide receiver Steve Smith. So, Steve Smith was allegedly caught having an affair with another man's wife, and the wife took to online exposing the information, and everybody had a response. So first thing, we're going to pull up the situation from the wife's point of view, and I'm going to start out by reading this, and here we go. Hi, I'm Nicole Martinez. Though it won't be a Martinez much longer. You see, I have been cheating on my husband and have been doing so with the very famous Steve Smith Sr. Pics attached for reference. I had him under, quote, 3, but that's been fixed. My husband bought me a house. He stood by my side after I had been arrested twice for domestic violence, and this is how I repay him and our son. There's plenty of messages here, Steve. Crazy the kind of revealing messages a celebrity will send. Baltimore Ravens, I am also a member of your team band. I believe I violated some fraternization rules by hooking up with Steve at the training facility. Wow. That is just crazy. And then we're going to get into some more.
Hold on, man. That's not her. You know that's the husband wrote that, right?
The husband wrote this.
Like he hacked into her Facebook and wrote that.
Wow.
Nobody's really doing that. Like, no person's gonna say this. Like, that's from a man. A scorned man at that. One of the things, and I'm gonna tell you this, I tell women this: you gotta take your L's in peace, man. I'd been none the wiser had I not known this. And I empathize for this man. This man is bump that. That's just cute stuff. That's the little cutesy text messages that people send when they're like liking each other. Okay, this right here. Right here is tough. Take me, hey, like you like it. Don't want to hear that. I would have gagged, but I just, nobody wants to see their mom or their lady text like this. But go to the next one. This isn't even the bad stuff right here. These are things you can kind of forgive, or you could try to. I don't know if I can forgive the gagging part, but it's one that's really all right. You're so hot. Deep is an understatement. It felt like you were going to rearrange my IUD. You were so deep. At that point, the relationship is so far gone. There's no coming back. I can't say anything to that because he going in raw. He's probably shooting the club up because she's got I used to call them IEDs. I used to thought the first time I heard them, I was like, damn, they got explosive devices in your vagina. They're like, no, it's an IUD. It's not an IED. But I don't want to hear that, man. No man wants to hear that or read that. And this is why you don't go through your people's phones. If you already believe it, man, just go. Just leave or don't do anything. Because now we got to hear you cry. Now your homeboys got to hear you cry. And if you're in the wrong group chat with some assholes, they're going to be like, hey, man, you was short stroking your wife. That's why she left you for a short guy like Steve Smith. And all you're doing, because Steve Smith, because you're not happy in your relationship, so you have to blow up Steve Smith's relationship too, because apparently he's married to some mid too. But really, all you're doing is giving him more publicity. Like you're literally giving him free advertising. Has anybody said anything really bad about Steve Smith through all of this? Have y'all seen anything? Like, he's not going to lose his job. The only thing you did was invite more hoes to want to come see if Steve Smith can rearrange their guts too. You used your wife as a platform for Steve Smith. This is Steve Smith's family?
Yeah.
They look real wholesome right there. And what's funny is the only thing you're going to see is a couple women. Actually, now Steve Smith's wife was black. When black women will be like, oh, you out there getting embarrassing.
I thought this meme was hilarious. Want to feel old? He's all grown up now. On the left, a viral baby meme. And then on the right, Steve Smith. Did you get a chance to see this one, James?
Yeah, I saw that one. Feel old now. Like, it does look the same.
And they were going in on the girl that he was having an affair with, and I started dying when I saw this. So somebody
said, now that's not a good picture of her. There's a better picture though. That one bad. That's a bad one.
You can't deny Jeff Van Gundy though.
But can we like stop with this? Like women, and again, I'm with you. Like, man. Bill Clinton is famous for cheating on his wife with who? Monica Lewinsky. Monica Lewinsky is not a supermodel. But you know what Monica Lewinsky is? She's that woman that's going to come in there and provide a service and do the things that nobody else wants to do. She's going to crash boards. She's going to really soak up the ball. She's going to be that's not a bad pick. Or am I just, do I have the work goggles on?
Nah, you have the work goggles on. You tweaking, man.
Okay. All right. She doesn't look that bad there.
No, I'm just playing.
But I'm like, he can do. She's assertive. Did you read what she said, man? This is why the husband's really hurt. He know he married a certified eater. He can go do all of those, and this is why, and I believe Steve Smith's wife knows this. There are things that she's not gonna do. She's wholesome. She got to look at them children, them cheering in their face. And here's a woman that doesn't give a shit. The only children she's trying to look in the face of is Steve Smith's unfertilized children on her face. That's all she cares about. And it's just, you gotta have a certified eater, man. Like, kudos. I feel bad for that. That's why this husband is on bended knee singing Boys to Men songs. Like, he knows what she's key. What's my fact? I know it. I know what I'm capable of. That's why. Oh man, I feel all I can think about is the Boondocks the Usher thing. We'll let that shit happen to me though. Oh my god, and I don't only God knows what that picture actually is.
Yeah, that's embarrassing. But we got the husband right here calling Steve Smith and confronting him to his face. So please let us know what you think of this video in the chat below.
Hey, yo, Steve.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you've been fucking my wife, bro. What you gotta say for yourself?
I'm sorry.
You're sorry? You fucking knew she was married. You're not a fucking idiot, man. You're fucking Steve Smith Sr. What kind of dumb shit was that?
This is it's harder than The
Why are you
Office.
quiet, man? Be a fucking man. Steve. You ain't a fucking man, bro. All that shit you do on fucking TV, all that shit talking you do to other people. Now someone's got you on the fucking phone, you can't even fucking man up.
So James, who do you feel for in this situation? Do you feel
Felt like I
for
was there.
the husband, or do you feel for Steve, or what are you leaning on in this situation?
All right, what'd you say, Jaden? You said who you feel bad for?
Yes, who do you feel for in this situation?
I don't even feel bad for any of them. Like, I mean, cheating happens, man. And the problem is now you're faced with something, and what are you going to do? What are you going to do about it? And it's better to not know. And your wife is a ghetto gabbler.
Oh my gosh. That made me so sad. That is so
Did I not read that? That's what I read. I wasn't there, so like all I can do is visualize it. He said like you like to, and she said she would have done it, but she had to go home.
That's rough. Just woof.
And she put I love doing it, and I like it when you do it inside.
Oh my goodness.
These are
Ew.
the words that she said. Like, I'm just sorry, man. Like, this is I do feel bad. I do feel some empathy for him because I don't know their relationship. I don't know what happened to get her to go do this. I mean, whatever. There's no amount of all right. So the best cartoon did something. Family Guy. Lois cheated on Peter, right? And the only get back that Peter could think was like to sleep with Lois's mom. And like, I don't see a way where he can really get a get back. Like, there's no get back that this man can get that's going to be on the same level. Because one get back doesn't really benefit you.
Yeah, that ain't real.
It only feels good for a moment, but you still have to live with the fact that Steve Smith was doing ungodly things. Like, she's got to be. She's a Martinez. She's Hispanic, so she's Catholic. So, so you know, there's no rule. Like 6 Hail Marys, please, Father, forgive us, and then she's on to the next thing. But like, this is just the way Steve. I don't feel bad for Steve, and Steve doesn't feel bad.
Yeah, not
Steve
at all.
said sorry. Like,
Yeah,
damn,
oh,
like, bro. And the way, but part of me almost makes me feel like, was this really real? Because like the way he like you're Steve Smith Sr. Like, who talks like that?
a man who doesn't know what to say.
And
He
then,
started the call and was like, had no plan of action.
like, what did he want him to say? Like, nah, man,
Yeah.
I didn't do it. Like, oh, that's where you go and you get you get one of the greatest intros to a diss song of all time. I don't know if Mr. Martinez is fat, but I do know this. That's why I fucked your bitch, you fat motherfucker. Oh man, I guess the more I talk about this, the more I feel bad for Mr. Martinez. Can't feel bad for the woman. She's getting more. Again, she's getting. Who doesn't want a certified eater?
Yeah.
Now, where will she go? She has nowhere to go but to the arms of Steve Smith. And it's the fear of regardless of when we get down to the nitty gritty of this DEI stuff. It's all about everybody's afraid of getting their wife split in two by BBC. And that's just kind of like where it comes down to, man. I feel bad. I feel bad for the kids. If there are kids involved, I feel bad for the kids. That's it.
It's awful.
Yeah, that's gonna be a horrible situation, especially for the family, because his kids look old enough to have social media, and the way the algorithm works, they're gonna see it, and man, I just hope it's.
I wonder if the kids are in school.
So nasty. And then you have to go that far. Just get a bidet. Just get a bidet, all of you nasty people out there.
A bidet? Oh, that's the
A
thing that
bidet.
squirts in your butt.
Yeah.
So, James, you got to put your general manager hat on, your James Gladstone hat on. So, this is a build your own expansion team. So, you got to choose your city, choose your professional sports league, and choose your team name. We got some options right here, but you can make your own. I'm curious to see what you will say and pick. So, the floor is yours.
Jacksonville. NBA. Honey drippers.
Solid. I like the idea. I like the idea.
I'm trying to think if there's another one. I do like the old, Jacksonville was where Hank Aaron did his he was on a Negro, it was on a Negro League. There was a Negro League team here, but and Hank Aaron played for them originally. I'll tell you right now. No, that doesn't sound good. But they were called the Jacksonville Redcaps. I still got to get me a jersey for a Jacksonville Red. I got a Honey Dripper jersey coming in though. But like, nah, if you had the Jacksonville Honey Drippers and we had that same jersey that the Jumbo Shrimp had, I think that'd be cool as hell.
Got a
Yeah, that was
picture
good.
of the Red Caps right here for you. But no, great idea. Jacksonville getting an NBA team. I wouldn't have picked that one. I probably would have just went the basic route, picking Vegas and NBA, just because I would love to see that one the most out of any sports franchise in America. So we're gonna move on into an NBA baby race. Now, this is arguably one of the greatest baby crawl race performances you'll ever see. I know you saw this online, James, and it wasn't even a race because it was over from the moment it started. So gonna share this with you all, get a good laugh in. And
Maybe.
whoa, that's too far. That's too far. That's too far. Don't you know my boy Zion gets so much hate, man. So much hate. Next thing, we got a Black History moment right here coming from the X Games. So Zeb Powell made history as the first Black snowboarder to win an X Games gold medal. Oh, and by the way, he is just 20 years old. So we got some footage of him at the X Games. So enjoy.
20 years old, making his X Games debut. And
This is why they hate black people.
That is crazy. The phone cam is tough because he pushes
Can't never have shit.
the leaderboard.
We always got to be doing something to put some seed right.
Take another look at this. Finds it, grabs it.
Like, how do you know you can do
Then
this?
continues on.
That's fire. I don't know anything about snowboarding, but that shit was fire.
Whoa. And very similar to Jake Cantor's with the 187.20. Nollies a little bit on it, just like we saw Marcus Cleveland. And guess what he gets? He gets some knocks. 20 years old.
Like, that's crazy, especially the hand on the ground thing.
Yeah, I've been following Zeb for some time on Instagram now. I've been huge fan for a couple years, and it's great to see him get this recognition and work hard and get to this point. But James, that's it for tonight. But the last question I have for you, what are you gonna do in Indy tonight, man? In Indianapolis at the Combine? Any special plans tonight?
I'm gonna sleep because I haven't really got a chance to sleep. But I might go to St. Elmo's and go ahead and get me the shrimp. We're gonna take you on the taste of Indy too, Jaden. Don't worry about it. You're gonna. Do you eat cocktail? Do you eat shrimp cocktail?
Yeah.
The St. Elmo's cocktail sauce is like something that you just have to have. Like, gotta have it.
Nice. But yeah, that concludes our show, James. If you got any last words for the fans, for Dim Media Group, anything you want to let them know to look out for on our socials, this is a perfect time to do so.
Make sure you check the 7-on-7 stuff. Make sure you check the Mandarin U. Go like and subscribe to Big Games, Big Game Gridiron. Remember, if we get the goal is get 10,000 subs by football season, we're giving away a pair of tickets to your favorite school or Jags or whatever you want to get. So make sure you check it out. We'll be putting out a ton of content. We'll be putting out stuff. So tomorrow we'll be putting out the press conference individually, and then my opinions to the press conference. So we'll have those things going on together. And we'll have a couple other coaches press conferences. So please make sure you continue to subscribe and support the channel. Appreciate you. Outside of that, appreciate you guys for chopping it up with me. Oh, I'm looking for the guy. I forgot his name, but a year ago, he's a barber. I need to get a taper. Like while I'm up here, my face is starting to get crazy. So if anybody can remember who that barber was, I don't remember his name, but like I need him. We got to find out who he is. And he has to tell me where his barbershop is so I can know how to get there. All right. Outside of that, appreciate y'all for chopping it up with me. We'll see you guys next time.